Now, how does your diet change as opposed? How's your diet change when you're going for competition training versus your regular, I'm just my regular maintenance workout. When you're going for competition, what's your diet like?
So like I mess with my carbohydrates and my protein. So the carb cycling. So I might increase my carbohydrates on like leg days, chest days, so I have more energy, that I'm able to be more explosive, at least at the beginning, right? Um, I keep my protein still kind of high, and then I might lower my fats a little bit. So I mess with the percentages, of my macronutrients. And then as I get closer to, competition, or if I'm really trying to burn more fat and maintain and grow muscle, I may increase my protein to 50%, lower my carbohydrates 30, and my fats are as I see necessary. Um, and I try to make sure I keep myself on a certain calorie amount, if I'm competing. Like I don't I'm not a big um, calorie counter. You know, I hate the whole let me weigh this out. Let me like I don't have that type of time. I'm very busy. So I kind of have a good idea, you know, of what I'm eating, how many calories are in each thing. I do look, you know, at the ingredient list and things like that, and the calorie amount. I pay close attention to those things, but as far as making sure that I have a certain amount of calories, I don't care about that. I go hard in the gym. I make sure that my macronutrients are in order, and everything else takes care of itself.
Uh, One thing people always kind of overlook: water, the consumption of water.
Hmm.
Talk to me a little bit about that. I mean, because you need it when you work out, hydrate your body, hydrate your muscles, but then at the same time, sometimes you hear about people wanting to lose water when they're trying to do competition for looks and stuff like that. But talk about water.
So water is actually definitely a very, very key part of bodybuilding. So before the competition, way before you get to it, I always suggest about a gallon a day.
Mm.
All right. And it's crazy. Your skin looks better. Like, you just feel good. You may go to the bathroom a lot, but you look different. Like if you just doing like it. So I do like a gallon of water a day, leading in at least. When I get closer, I may increase the amount of water I'm taking. Now, the week before competition, leading into what is called peak week, I increase my water intake. And I get it I go from a gallon and a quarter, a gallon and a half, to 2 gallons, to 2.5 gallons. And yeah, it's waterworks, but yeah, you know, that, and then as I'm in peak week, each day I'm starting to decrease by half a gallon the amount of water I'm taking, except till before the day of competition, I may not have any water at all, or the day of the competition, right? I won't drink any water at all, because what begins to happen is a diuresis process, and your body begins to shed that water off, and then the day before the competition or the day of the competition, you want to be pretty much dehydrated almost, because it causes your skin to be thinner. All right, your veins will pop more, and you'll show up looking a little bit more um, vascular. You know,
Okay, all right. Yeah, I always wanted people like, yeah, so all about your water. Okay.
sodium and water play a huge part.
Yeah. Because water always follows wherever sodium goes.
Right? So sodium and water are a very, very important part of the competition process. Right. So as you said, like sodium and water follow each other. one big mistake I made in my third competition. Um, so I was dating this young lady. She was actually a competitor too. So she should have known better. But she actually had a can of tuna with her. Like she was bringing, and she likes to do the canned tuna. And day of, I was starving. So usually, the day of, you usually want to actually put carbohydrates in your body, and you want to drain yourself of carbohydrates before. And like any type of protein you have, it doesn't really help or do anything. So tuna, I was expecting, all right, it's not going to hurt me or anything like that. It's just a can of tuna. Anything in a can is high in sodium.
That's right.
And I did not think about that, So I was super vascular before I ate this can of tuna. Immediately after I finished this can of tuna, my veins just started disappearing.
Wow.
And I started to get a little puffier in my face.
Wow.
I showed up on stage looking terrible.
Are you serious?
Terrible.
Like just like that.
Just like that. That's the worst I've ever done in a competition. Eating that can of tuna. And actually, I felt like I was going to become a pro that day. But the fact that I was looking that bad probably means I wasn't going to be a pro, but at least I ended up getting, sixth place out of, that was a good bit of people in that. It was like 13, 14 people in this show.
That's good.
But sixth place, you basically get an honorable, you basically get a participation trophy,
Right.
which, I had never, gotten that low before.
Mm-hmm.
So it was definitely a eye-opening experience.
Yeah.
So yeah, that point I realized.
Did you curse her out for giving you that tuna?
Nah, I didn't curse her out. She was mad at me because I lost. She treated me like I was a loser. I was like, wait, come on here. Use the reason why.
Come on. Now wait a minute. Now. You saw how Eve did Adam with the apple, and then she gave you the apple.
She gave me the apple.
It was tuna. Oh man, that's a funny story, man. That's a funny story. All right, so it's a very interesting story too. Can you tell me what it's like? What is competition like on stage and backstage? That whole Perry performance, and getting on stage, prepping, and all of that, and then being on stage when you're seeing your competition, you gotta show, and you gotta turn and pose and hit that. And what is that like, man? And then being in front of all these people, cameras and judges. What? Just describe that whole thing to me, man.
So first, like being backstage, it's like everybody is checking out everybody. So you're looking at your competition.
Right.
Like you're looking at guys like, oh, this guy, there's no way this guy's gonna beat me.
Right.
Oh, this guy, there's no guy. Like you're really kind of sizing people up.
Right.
Which is funny, and because then sometimes you have guys that go up to each other and they're like, oh man, you're gonna be a problem. You're gonna be a problem. They kind of try to talk your head up. And they're a problem too. And then you have some guys that like they won't even take their shirt off until they're about to get on stage, because they're just not trying to show what they got, But yeah, you're in the back, you're like getting ready, you're pumping up, like doing push-ups, like everybody's back there, like hitting the weights. You got the
so they're actually working out.
Oh yeah, you got to get the pump before you get on stage.
Gotcha.
So like part of the depleting yourself of carbohydrates and then like showing up is like when you show up on stage, like you're actually eating candy, like you eating candy, you like backstage lifting up because when you don't have the carbohydrates, all that stuff like is immediately going to your muscles. The carbohydrates, because you depleted yourself for so long, it hits your blood vessels, goes straight to your muscles, and that's what gives you the pump. So everybody's backstage lifting, bicep curls, push-ups, lunges, the whole nine. I mean, most people bring their own equipment because they don't have like a gym.
Okay.
Because you're usually in these auditoriums and things like that. And then you wait till they like call your class. You have your number, and you go out. You line up on the stage. And you're looking out, and it's just people, right?
Right.
And all the judges are right there in the front row, and you're looking down at them, and yeah, and they just call your number. Like, well, they tell you to hit the pose, right? Um, and then it's kind of like a lot of times you kind of have an idea of how well you're doing because a lot of times the judges will have the top people in the middle.
Mm.
So a lot of times when you're in the center, it's like okay, I'm winning, right?
So will they tell you to move to the center?
Yeah, they'll be like
Okay.
number 20, 21,
Step forward. And,
step into trade places with number 4, and like number 4 might be the person in the middle, right? So yeah, so when they tell you to, like, if you're that person in the middle and they tell you to move, right? You're like, oh yeah, and the worst thing is like being on the outside,
right.
because it's like you think that nobody is looking at you.
Right.
But the crazy thing is, it's not always like that. Because I had one of my good friends who, he's actually part of my personal training company, Savage Life Fitness. He actually was on the outside the whole time. Well, maybe not the whole time, but the majority of the time, and ended up getting first place overall and got his pro card in that show.
Wow.
But majority of the time, if you're in the middle, you're most likely top 3. So it's a little nerve wracking. It, you feel good and you can feel bad all at the same time, depending on where you're at. But you just gotta have that confidence showing the whole time. You can never not show the confidence. I tell my client, I was like, either smile at the judges and at the audience, or have the meanest mean mug that you can have. But don't have a middle ground.
Right.
Personality. You got to have the personality, because it's a show.
True.
As some people like to say, it's a pageant. But it's not a soft pageant, what I'm saying? This is a hardcore, who's got the best muscles, who is the man,
right.
Or the woman.
Gladiator shit.
Exactly, who's the best. So it's fun times, man.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Let me ask you this question. Now I know that you said your coaches and other people is like, you have a physique for competing and bodybuilding. Um, when or did you ever arrive at a point, because you kind of worked out consistently, but did you ever arrive at a point where you were like, yo, I'm that dude, like, yo, nah, my body is right, and you look in the mirror like, yeah, this is definitely different from what I've been doing. Did you ever hit that point?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, a couple times.
Okay.
I hit it this year because I did actually 4 competitions this year.
Damn.
Yeah, I did 4 this year. Chasing that elusive pro card. But the very last one, I hit that stage where I was like, oh yeah, none of these cats got me. Like, I was on a whole nother level. Um, I just didn't have my posing down. I didn't practice my posing the way I should. And I think that cost me. I think that did cost me on stage, because I was more muscular, more vascular, you know, abs popping, everything was there. But if you're not posing correctly,
So when you say posing correctly, like, is it a certain particular form that they want to see you in, or is it you want to be in the best position that make your muscles pop the most? Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm asking the question correctly, but
I know what you're saying.
yeah, like, because if you're saying your posing is kind of what threw you off, like, were they looking for a specific form?
So in bodybuilding, you know, men and women, each division, you know, has or classification has multiple poses for it. You know, their traditional posing. Um, and I didn't talk about this, you know, before, but in like bodybuilding or in men, you have bodybuilding, you have classic physique, you have physique. So those are the three classifications that you can compete in, and they call it all bodybuilding. Um, but each one of those classifications has poses that um, you're supposed to do while you're on stage, and the judges judge you off of those poses uh, that you're doing in that class that you're competing in. Like women, they have bodybuilding, physique, wellness, and bikini. So women have four things they can compete in. Wellness is the new classification, and men have three. But each one you got to hit those poses, and you're getting judged on the poses that you're doing in that classification.
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. Uh, just got a few more questions.
Sure.
Tell us about. We talked a little bit about the supplementation of steroids. What, being that you're natural, what's some supplementation or supplements that you recommend or that you use uh, to kind of go along with like your workout regimen?
So number one, protein, right? Because it's kind of difficult to get all the protein that you need, especially if your calorie count is at a certain level, right? If it's supposed to be low. So I use protein number one. Number two, multivitamin. Um, you know, some people say that they're good. I feel like I perform better when I'm taking a daily multivitamin. Because a lot of the vitamins that are in it, you know, are things that are beneficial to kind of help with the muscle growth. Number three, branch chain amino acids, BCAAs. Um, you know, those help with protein synthesis, help with the repair of the muscles. You know, so if you're dealing with a lot of soreness, can help that muscle recovery a lot faster. Um, and then I would say, lastly, would be CLA or fish oils. Um, Fish oils, CLA, have fat burning properties. So it's one of those natural fat burners that kind of help. As you know, fish oil also helps with circulation as well. So, you know, those are the main four, or the only four really I take.
CLA, that's what's that? That's
Conjugated linoleic acid.
oh, okay, okay,
Mm-hmm.
gotcha. And then when you say protein, are you like do you have a preference for like, I know you have like whey, then you have casein?
So, so those actually that actually makes a big difference as well, right? So I'm a believer in whey protein as a base. Like whey is going to give you the most protein, um, and it's going to have the best protein per calorie count. Casein is best if you take it at night. So casein is a long acting protein. So it's going to give your muscles fuel, you know, while you're sleeping, you know, while you're just chilling. That's what I use casein for. Your other choices, like if you're a vegan, people do the pea protein. Um, for me, that's a little bit more carbohydrate dense. Um, you know, also too, usually the servings, the amount of protein you get per serving is lower. So I don't usually do pea protein, plant protein, which is pretty much the same thing. And then you have egg protein, which is a little bit higher in the fats. Um, you can get some that isn't as high in the fats, but again, it doesn't have that same macronutrient benefit that you're going to get from the whey protein. So whey protein, when it comes to bodybuilding, is king. You can use the other proteins, but again, it's all about the macronutrients.
Gotcha. Okay. And I guess my last question: how would you say training and bodybuilding? How would you say it has impacted your life? Just take a look at the grand scheme.
Confidence. So when you know that you're in shape and you know that um, your physique is on point, um, one, you can look in the mirror and you're like, wow. You're like, damn, I'm bad.
Mm-hmm.
And you can walk into a room and other people are going to think the same thing. Um, so it just makes you stand out. The compliments that you get. I'm at work and patients are just like, you lift, don't you? Your arms are amazing. And it doesn't matter if I have a suit on or oh, you're wearing a suit. You just melt into that suit.
Yeah.
You know, it's tighter on the arms, it's tighter on the shoulders, and you just have that look of a comic book character,
Right.
just walking around. And so it just gives you that confidence and your ability, and you just feel like you do more. You have the energy to do more. You just makes you do more in life in general. You know, you find yourself more productive. Um, ever since I started bodybuilding, the gears just turn and like I'm just thinking of what is the next move? What else do I want to do? So it's just become something that like it's just a very, very big part of my life, you know? It gives you a hobby as well, right? Yeah.
Dope. All right, man. Well, it's been a dope interview, man. What I want you to do is, if there's anything that you want the people to know, especially where they can reach you and follow you, like your social media handles, because as we grow this platform for Swarthy and Swank, everybody that comes on the platform, I want people to know it too. So, um, tell people your Instagram and all the other stuff.
So you can follow me at Young Love, YOUNGLUV_1 on Instagram. I'm gonna start back focusing on Facebook, but I'm opening a restaurant. For the people to know.
Scott does it. Come on, yo. From pharmacy to restaurants, weightlifting. Come on.
So the Salad Works in Washington D.C. I am the owner. That will be opening December, January. So I hope you guys all come out and support. Um, so you can follow Salad Works Union Market on Facebook. Clifford Lovett on Facebook. I will start posting on Facebook. I don't post much on there. And then I do have Savage Life Fitness as my other Instagram page. And it's a Facebook page as well. But you can follow them. Savage Life Fitness gyms will be coming in one day as well. There's levels to it, but I got to get there. I'm getting there.
Oh, man, you do it. I love it. All right. Cliff Lovett. Appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you having me. Thank you.